Hello and welcome to another episode of The Exchange.
On today's show, we are going to look at the word most people love to hate, diet. Diets have been around for centuries, from the practical to the absurd, but do they work?
We'll discuss if diet is a bad word and whether or not we need to move away from dieting.
Diets come and go, but the idea of dieting has been around for centuries. Dieting philosophies range from drinking vinegar and water, smoking cigarettes, eating no carbs, drinking only liquids, and many more. 3 in 5 people are reported to be overweight or obese in Australia. That's 12 million people. So, does dieting actually work?
Joining us on today's show is nutritionist Lola. After struggling with her weight for years, she took matters into her own hands and started the 2020 diet and found a diet that worked. She's now written 3 books. Welcome, Lola.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It's a great pleasure.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Also joining us today is Dr. Damian Kristof, who is a naturopath, chiropractor and speaker. Damian was also the host of New Zealand's popular weight loss TV show, Downsize Me. Great to have you with us, Damian.
Thanks, Christy. Rob, great to see you.
And we're going to have a lot of fun on today's
Definitely,
program.
And possibly something to eat.
Well, I'm thinking, you know, because we've read about a lot of different fad diets. I'm starting my own. It's called the donut diet.
Yeah.
I was, as soon as I saw them come out, I was like, they're not going to be, they cannot pay me to eat that. It's like poison to me.
Well, talking about can't pay you, Damian, there is, I saw a tapeworm diet. Get out of here.
Hey, well, it does. It gets out of you. That's the idea. Yeah. So you're supposed to take tapeworms. They're going to chew up all your calories and then you're starved of calories. It's different to the whole food diet. When I say whole food, I don't mean a whole donut,
a whole donut.
No, I'm saying,
Actually, these are the wrong sort of donuts. I was expecting the donut with the hole to come out, and this is supposed to be the donut hole diet. Because...
come on.
Sorry.
Tell
anyway,
us, guys,
tell
us some of the diets that have been around, Lola, some of the ones that you might have tried.
There's so many out there, and I would be lying if I said I hadn't tried 1,000,001 things. I'd tried fasting on lemon juice and warm water. I did that for 10 days once, and it's just not, I don't think that dieting, for me personally, it just doesn't set up a great, mindset, because you're like, okay, I'm doing this for X amount of time to get this result. And sure, diets will often give you short-term results, 100%. But if you want to get really good results and you want to have a fit body forever, then you just got to, like we were saying, whole foods, eat real food, the body knows what to do with it. And at the end of the day, I think it's also not about looking a certain way, but it's about feeling the best that you can feel. Yeah. If you come back to that, then you don't look at donuts and go, oh, I really want one of them. You look at apples and go, well, I'm going to get sweetness from them. In the makeup room, we were saying real lollies is actually fruit, you know. You eat frozen bananas, make the best ice creams.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
Pop in the freezer.
And even like little frozen raspberries, pop those in your mouth, they're great.
Oh, perfect.
So do you think, like you said a moment ago, Lola, I want to get your take on this, Damian, diet often has a negative connotation. Is that because it's about deprivation rather than actually eating properly?
Rob, it does. A lot of people think that it is about deprivation, but the word diet, I heard Don Tolman talk about this. He says diet comes from the word deity, which means moving towards good. Right, and so it was originally taken from that.
Or moving towards God.
Or God, yeah,
like
that's
a Greek
right,
God,
yes.
or Buddha.
Possibly, this is where it could have come from. Yes, a deity or deity came from the word, or meaning to move towards good. And so when we talk about that, diet really then means a healthy lifestyle. Like I eat a healthy diet as opposed to I'm on a diet. Right. The word used in that context, I'm on a diet, implies that it's temporary and that it's going to have an implication. And generally the implication is calorie restriction or a food group restriction, as opposed to a balanced way of eating, which is just eat real food, the JERF principle.
Yep. Rather than all these different types of diets, what are some of the weirdest diets you've actually come across? We'll start with you, Damian.
I think anything which excludes a whole food group is just outrageous. And look, I've been vegetarian, I've done vegan, I've gone as far as extremes as paleo, and what I've worked out is that really you've got to find something in between, and really there's countries around the world and civilizations for generations and millennia that have thrived and survived on rice you know, and their whole culture has been built around rice. And they've got people that have lived into their hundreds eating rice. And so all of a sudden we've now got the paleo program, or the paleo diet says rice will kill you, and if you drink dairy or eat cheese, you're probably going to die younger. And for me, it's just taken too much out of context. You know, they say that there's been no evolution. Well, if that was the case, if we got Encino Man here right now, we've got him from the movie, it said, here we are, we're in 2014, live here now, he'd die within seconds because the pollution would knock him out, but we've all evolved to be able to handle that sort of thing. So, you know, to go as far as extreme and say you've got to take out all animal products, and then to the other extreme, you've got to take out all grains, I think we're missing the point, and that is to eat really good, high-quality food.
Yeah. Lola, would you agree with it?
Actually, I probably would. That said, I'm a pretty strict paleo, so I'm sitting there going, oh, I agree. But for me, it's about, I've tried all these different diets on, and it's about what works for my body type. I read something where people that have got blonde hair and blue eyes generally have a more reactive constitution when it comes to food. So I know that if I eat gluten, like I feel like I'm 5 months pregnant, like within about 20 minutes. And generally I'm pretty sad too, because 90% of these serotonin receptors are actually in your gut, which is, you know, what makes you feel happy, right? But as far as the weird diets, there are some wacky ones out there. My favorite one is the rainbow diet.
No.
So you have to, it's for 7 days. Yeah, so on the first day you have to eat, so it goes through the chakras, and you eat anything that's red, so base chakra food, so tomatoes, you know, we're talking strawberries, capsicums, but you can't eat any other colour.
So red for a day.
Oh,
Red for
so
a
it's not
day.
like colouring the rainbow,
Jam.
it's one colour of the
Each
rainbow
day,
per day.
and it's meant to be a spiritual cleanse. And I met a few people at a Don Tolman event actually that were doing it. Yeah, and I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And I think that any kind of diet is really fascinating. I find it quite interesting, and I believe that we're all on our own journey. And you know, and I've also been vegan as well at times, and I was really a raw foodie for ages. And I think we're all on this journey, and it's okay. It doesn't matter where you're at. But as far as like dieting goes, I don't believe, and I obviously have written a diet book, and I'm sitting here saying I do not believe that one diet suits everybody. I believe listen to your body, eat really good food, chop and change. What's going to work for Damian's not necessarily going to work for me, and vice versa. Really start to honour your body. You've got about a 3-hour window, I notice, where you can go, oh wow, I feel either tired or down or a bit bloated or just a bit like agitated after you eat something. You can normally pinpoint how certain foods make you feel. But for me, the biggest one, and like put the gluten and the dairy aside for a second, but is refined sugar. I notice it's almost like cocaine or something. Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like
Well, they call it the white poison, don't they?
white poison. They say it's more addictive than heroin.
And there's actually some things that saying that giving sugar to your children is like giving them alcohol because it has the same effect in their liver.
Yeah, and they've done that. There's studies that on putting a pacifier in a warm water with sugar, and the kids will like for the first minute will just calm right down because it's almost really sedating for 1 or 2 minutes, and then it's the polar opposite, like off the rails. Highly addictive though, and it just ages you. I did a photo. I can't believe I'm about to admit this, but I did a photo shoot last week, and the photographer asked me if I'd had Botox, and I've never had it in my life.
It's not a good question to ask someone, though,
No,
is it?
it wasn't.
Hi, Lola. Have you had Botox?
She said, you look great since last time I shot you, and she shot me a year ago. She said, last time I shot you, she's like, have you had Botox? I said, no, I just don't eat refined sugar anymore. So it's amazing, huge difference in my energy levels. I'm big into yoga and weights training and running, and I just noticed that my body responds faster as well. So that's just what works for me though.
Yeah.
So I think like really be empowered, listen to your body, and kind of use all these diets.
Listening to your body is the key, not listening to your mind, because your body, you know, your mind rarely tells you, oh, I really need a piece of lettuce. It's more like, oh, I really could do with a Cadbury's family block right now.
Yeah, totally right.
Why is that though? Why does your mind tell you that you want other stuff?
It actually doesn't. Your brain tells you that you need fuel and you need nourishment and you need nurturing. And the way in which you interpret that is based on your experience with it. So if your experience with food has been that you reward yourself, you know, whether you had down times or good times and you reward yourself with food, generally it's going to be a celebration style food, right? So it could be chocolate or it could be alcohol. And so you link that sensation or the requirement for nourishment or reward with those sorts of foods. And so that becomes your choice, because really what it's saying is I need some nourishment. And you go, okay, no worries, I'll get some lollies, but the fruit bowl's next to you, right? So it's really, if you gave it fruit, it would be wrapped. If you had lollies, it's disappointed. it'll go, okay, well, thanks for the nourishment. It's going to ask you for more nourishment again later on because it wasn't enough to heal your body and to support your body. So it's only the way in which you interpret it. So you can put whatever meaning to hunger that you like. So for me, hunger means that I could eat. I don't necessarily have to eat. If I'm hungry, I'm okay with being hungry. I'm not going to die because I'm not going to starve. So it's not, I'm not so desperate for a feed right then and there that I'm going to make a bad choice. So I can wait until I've got the right sort of food in front of me. Right. So it's about understanding those messages.
I feel like he's talking right to me now.
You've eaten lunch.
I'm always hungry.
Really?
Yeah, always hungry. And so I know that just because I'm hungry, I actually don't need to eat. But we do need to take a break right now because these donuts are right next to me. We'll be back with Street Talk right after this.
What comes to mind when I say the word diet?
Not eating what you want in order to get health benefits or lose weight, I guess.
A healthy lifestyle.
Oh, giving up stuff? Pain. Yeah, and just, I guess, having to miss out on a whole lot of different types of food and time in, counting what I have to eat or particular foods that I have to do. Just a lot of effort, frankly.
I guess reducing what you eat.
Fad diets, people trying really hard to lose weight in possibly unhealthy ways is what comes to mind.
Healthy food. And some other people sort of take it a bit more seriously and do detoxes and go for just water or just juices that they drink throughout the day. But mainly for me, dieting would just be making sure you're eating healthy.
Unnecessary. I think everything in moderation and exercise. Yeah.
Obviously weight loss, fitness, health.
Yeah.
That's the three things that really come to mind for me.
Restrictions.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. But lots of healthy things as well, and I guess it's all about also the size of meals that are really important.
Fresh fruit, vegetables, and what you eat.
And do you think dieting works when it comes to weight management?
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, there are an amazing amount of diets out there, and they all work if you stick to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely. It's people that don't stick to them, which is why they have weight.
I think so, but I think exercise is better.
I think you need to have a bit more than that. I think you need to have an incorporation of a bit of discipline as well. So, you can't just go for the quick fix.
I do actually, yes, I do. I think it helps to watch what you eat, yes.
Always a combination of diet and fitness and plenty of exercise. It's the only way to do it.
I think everything in moderation would be what would work, and dieting, you can turn it into a fad and it's not so healthy for you.
Not necessarily, because then people end up putting it back on. So I think it should be more long-term, something more long-term that they can stick to.
I think diet is a really dirty word, and we should only have a healthy diet all the time, but I don't really like to use the word diet, but just lifestyle, I guess. And I think people are looking into clean eating and things like that, which is more of a lifestyle. So yeah, yo-yo dieting does never work. Doesn't work.
Too many temptations out there nowadays with fast food.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem I think is we've got is overeating. So that's what I see, yeah. I've tried many diets, never worked.
You look pretty fit.
I try to be fit. I'm training for the marathon, so I do have to watch my diet.
Welcome back. We're discussing, is diet a bad word? With nutritionist Lola Berry and naturopath Dr. Damian Kristof and Sandra, our Street Talk reporter. Hi there.
Hi, great to be here.
Good to have you. Tell me, were you surprised at what you heard?
No, not at all. I think generally speaking, everyone thought that diet is a bad word and it's all about deprivation, really.
A lot of negatives, weren't there?
And why do we go to the extreme of deprivation? Like lifestyle, the lifestyle word is being used the same way as diet. I mean, why don't we look at some calorie restrictions and not actually call it, are we eating too much?
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah. People are eating way too much. And there's a lady, I don't want to pick any pieces or poke any fun or anything, but one of the ladies said it's all about calories, or how much food you're actually eating, and she obviously was eating too much. You know, she needs to cut back on the amount of food that she's eating and eat more sensibly. And really, at the end of the day, if you're going to eat enough for 3 people, then you're going to get to the size of 3 people. You know, it's not, maths isn't that hard to work out. You know, at the end of the day, eat great food. You're not going to eat as much if you eat great food because your body responds to the signals. You get the release of serotonin, you get the sensation of fullness, you know, satiation, and you don't need to overeat if you eat the right food.
But if I was saying we've got to eat in moderation, what's that?
It's a lot different from what we
should. Damian was nudging me going, I don't like that. Go on, just go, say what you got to say.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Like where in the history of the planet has everything in moderation ever worked? It doesn't work. If we applied that to anything, whether it be accounting, finance, a little bit of violence, a little bit of swearing, a little bit of cussing, whatever, it just doesn't cut the mustard. Like really, at the end of the day, you can't be saying that everything is okay for me as long as I have in moderation, because that would mean that a little bit of a donut and a little bit of lollies and a little bit of beer and a little bit of champagne for breakfast is going to be okay.
It's not a balanced diet, what you just said, right?
It's not balanced, right? Yeah, right. I've got you. I'm on to you, Rob.
4 of the main food groups right there. Champagne, donuts, right.
Carbohydrate, protein, that's right.
That's it.
But no, you can't have everything in moderation. It doesn't work like that. Every healthy food in moderation, yes. And then if you eat healthy and you manage to come into contact with foods that are probably less healthy or more challenging, I like to call them, and you've eaten a really good diet just generally, then the more challenging foods don't affect your body in the same way and to the same extent. Because if you're having a diet that's primarily great food, the little bit of bad food that you might eat isn't the problem. It's easier to manage.
Lola, they said, somebody commented and said, they all work if you stick to them.
Yes.
I thought that was a little bit of an overdone statement.
The reality is, if you put yourself on a diet or a diet plan and it's specific and you've gone out and you've got your shopping and you're organised, one person touched on that, you've got to be organised, and I think that's 100% true. Yes. It does take organisation. I do go to the farmers markets. Even living in Sydney, as soon as I landed here, I was straight at Param Market. You know what I mean? You do need to make it a priority in your life, 100%. But as far as like, do diets get results? I think that in short term they do. But another good point that we hit on is people want lifestyle, not necessarily diet. So it's not about, okay, I'm going to go on this strict regime for 3 weeks and lose 5 kilos or 10 kilos, whatever you want to lose. Sure, that might happen, but how do you maintain that? And how do you have that forever? And I think I believe you want to be the best that you can be all the time. So why not just live a really healthy lifestyle? And then the weight kind of looks after itself. When you're kind of like obsessing over it, it's like then you obsess over the Marvelous Creation chocolate that you then chow down as well and then undo all the hard work. I think have a really positive mind frame. Just eat really good food, honour yourself, love yourself, and it's going to just fall away, and you're not even going to realise you're on a diet. You're going to remember as well, taste buds change every 21 days. So for the first couple of weeks, you're going to be like, oh, I miss my chocolate. But then, like Damian's been saying, he loves dark chocolate with salt. And someone that doesn't eat dark chocolate would be like, oh, that's too bitter. But knowing that your taste buds change, only 3 weeks of your life, not long. Eat really good food and watch the body change. Don't focus on the number on the scales. I do weights training, so my scale numbers is going up, but I'm getting fitter and fitter. So I go by how I feel, and if I've got that healthy glow, I think that is 10 times more attractive than dropping a dress size or being super skinny.
No, one of the things we have a challenge with is, we talked about lifestyle, and one of the things we have a challenge with is that part of our lifestyle is that our meetings can revolve around food. And so you don't have control over that food to the same degree. How important is it if you're trying to lose weight to have control over your food?
See, I would disagree with that comment totally. Good. I believe you decide every single day, every time you eat, you get to choose how to nourish yourself. It's about owning it. It's about going, I go to events all the time. It's part of my job, and I will always cook up my salmon and avo before I go out. And I'm that person, I don't care. I own it. If I'm out at a restaurant, I'm that gluten-free, dairy-free girl. I don't care. I'm just like, I'm the food nerd.
So you have to be disciplined, because someone else said you have to be disciplined in order to eat well. So,
but once you've done it for 3 weeks, you start to go, I would rather eat that than that pile of donuts that was sitting on. You know what I mean? Like,
which you're missing, by the way.
Yes.
I'm
not feeling hungry now at all. You know.
And why 3 weeks?
That's how long it takes for taste buds to change and to build a habit in your mind. And that's how, that's how long it takes. If you go on, like, if you're just like, I'm going to cut sugar out for 3 weeks, so you watch your taste buds, you will eat like a carrot or a piece of pumpkin or a sweet potato, and your body will just be like, this is really sweet and beautiful. Cherry tomatoes taste like lollies to me.
Wow.
Seriously.
That's amazing. Yeah, 21 days. I can make it. I can do this. I love that statement that you brought up.
Try 21
minutes. We'll start there. Right? But, you know, you sort of said that person's right. If you stick to it, it'll work. And we've got to go to a break in just a moment. But just kind of a last word, I guess. Would every diet actually work if you stuck to it?
If you stuck to grapefruit?
Obviously
not.
not.
The grapefruit diet, the lemon juice diet.
The Israeli diet.
What your goal is too. Like if your goal is to shed 5 kilos really fast, and you know.
You just drink lemon juice.
Yeah, I mean, naturally, it's like math.
Yeah,
like
once you achieve that goal, like if your goal is only to lose weight and not to be healthy, then of course it'll work, but you don't need to stick to it for a long period of time because you're just going to do that.
Yep.
But if your goal is to be well and to avoid disease and to, you know, live your best life and to feel fantastic when you wake up in the morning and go to sleep knowing you need to sleep, but not that you need to sleep, then you choose a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, well, thank you, guys. Thank you, Sandra.
Thanks, Sandra.
Welcome, thank you.
Popping in. We'll be back with more in just a moment on The Exchange. Welcome back. We're joined by Lola Berry and Dr. Damian Kristof, and we're discussing, is diet a bad word? What's a really healthy way forward for people that are maybe stuck in dieting and they need to lose weight, they need to be healthy and all of that kind of thing, Damian?
There's a movie that was called, it was Sick, Fat and Nearly Dead, Joe Cross. And Joe Cross talks about eating foods that have more sunlight in them. So he says, if it comes from nature, and it still looks like it came from nature, then it's going to be all right for you. It's going to be good. So he says that if you get a tomato from the plant, it's obviously been grown with sunlight, and it's got inside it sunlight's energy. Right? Now, Joe Cross lost a lot of weight, heaps of weight, to turn his whole life around by eating foods and juicing with foods that actually contain lots of sunlight. He says that if you get tomato sauce, you get the bottle, but someone else, a human or a machine, has taken all the sunlight out of that tomato and turned it into something else that's now got sugar and humectants and thickeners and all other kinds of things. So it now no longer has the sunlight. So if you use the sunlight principle or the least amount of manufacturing possible, then you're on a good path.
And don't worry about diet as a word.
That's right.
And what about your book, Lola, the 2020? Tell us a little bit about that and how it works.
So the 2020 diet is literally how I lost 20 kilos in 20 weeks. But it is, all I did was pretty much pull the junk out and eat really good food and whole foods. So foods in their most natural, I guess they would have had a higher vitality, therefore more sunlight in them.
That's right.
So
higher in Q.
Totally just about eating real food. And I think even the viewers as well, if they're watching, they're like, how do I get inspired? How do I know what to kind of, do? Honestly, real food, be empowered, be inspired. How lucky we live in Australia. We've got all this access to fresh fruit and veggies. You get to decide how to nourish this temple. So just totally do it. It's up to you.
Yeah, good. Sounds
I watched
great.
Lola's transition. I watched her transition from a girl that was vegan, eating healthy food, but probably still having processed sugars, I suppose you were. And so she wasn't in the most amazing shape, had an amazing message, but wasn't looking as healthy and vital as what she is now. But quite clearly it works. Just eating healthy, good food, exercising, it's very important.
Yep.
Hydrating with appropriate liquids, so water. And, and she's done a great job. Look at her now, she looks fantastic. So it's good.
Thank you. But I think the best bit is, okay, great, proof's in the pudding, but you feel good, like my energy levels, and I feel like I'm showing up and I'm being the best version of myself. And it doesn't matter if you're not really into health, if you're a musician, a dog walker, an artist, whatever you are, you want to be the best at that.
Absolutely.
Then you need to look after your health.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No brainer.
Wonderful advice, Lola and Damien. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
That's great. And thank you for watching. Please go to our website for a fact sheet as well as more information about our show. Hope you can join us next time.
See you then.